Caitlin Downing and her family will always hold a very special place in my heart. It required an enormous leap of faith for her family to agree to enroll Caitlin in my clinical trial as the very first patient treated. But by enrolling her in the trial, they created a small ray of hope for themselves, and they created hope for future families. I will forever remember the day I met Denise Downing with her daughter Caitlin. We must have spent easily over an hour speaking about the clinical trial, the surgery that her daughter would undergo, the risky nature of the trial. She closed the door, left the clinic, and within 12 seconds, reopened the door after a gentle knock, looked me in the face, and said, "Thank you for trying." DIPG is probably one of the most frustrating cancers that we treat in children. It's inoperable, it's highly invasive, it's a part of the brain that is exquisitely important for control of function, basic functions such as breathing, smiling, walking, talking, closing your eyes. All of these children succumb to this disease in about 1 year. I think I was almost as heartbroken as the Downings when Caitlin lost her battle. I will never forget the last time I spoke with Caitlin when she asked if I could remove the bump in her brain before she went to heaven. Denise has become one of the most dedicated supporters of our research in DIPG. I can't imagine the number of times she's traveled from Florida to other parts of the country in support of funding for DIPG research. She has been tireless, she has been full of effort, and she's been a dedicated member of our team since the passing of Caitlin. I collaborate with Dr. Jeffrey Greenfield through the Children's Brain Tumor Project. It's this interaction that makes the Children's Brain Tumor Project an extremely important resource.
Funding for pediatric cancers is so small. 4% of the national NIH cancer budget is dedicated towards children. That makes people angry. It makes families angry. It makes researchers angry. Our children absolutely deserve more than this.
In the world of DIPG and other rare diseases like GC, tissue is an extreme rarity because these are not surgical diseases and this is not happening on a daily basis.
One of the first things that we did when we started the Children's Brain Tumor Project was make a vow to ourselves that we were going to store every single tumor that we operated on. So a small sample of every tumor is frozen in liquid nitrogen. We now can turn rare tumors into tumors for which we have dozens and dozens of specimens.
These cell lines became extremely valuable to us, and now we have an arsenal to test the feasibility of doing some of these very innovative drug delivery techniques.
When we take these cells and put them in a culture dish, we can learn things about their behavior. We can study how they grow. We can study what drugs affect their growth in a way that other scientists could only dream that they have that opportunity.
We have very good success stories with other brain tumors. Why? Tissue was available, money was available, and the sheer number of patients was driving this from an economical model and a medical need model. But that hasn't been the situation with less common tumors, such as DIPG and other rare diseases like GC. Obtaining funding for these diseases is highly, highly problematic, and the child who succumbs to that disease is the one who pays the price for this. Obtaining funding is near the impossible.
We feel like we can do better, both on the research side and on the treatment side. And we couldn't do this without the Children's Brain Tumor Project and all of our families, and we're so gratefully indebted to all of you.
We say that the Children's Brain Tumor Project is powered by families. We thank each of you for providing that power. Day after day, year after year, it's you who make the difference. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am to Denise and her community, her friends, and her family for believing in me and what we're doing with DIPG research. I know in my heart of hearts that we're going to cure some child with DIPG. And when that day comes, we will truly have our own little cheerleader to thank.